Welcome to basic examples with powers of tangent and secant. So for our first example, evaluate the indefinite integral, which is the integral of tangent to the fourth of x times secant to the sixth of x dx. So note here that while we do not have the odd power on tangent, we do have the even power on secant. So we have an even power on secant. And so this is our case one. So here we want to peel off a copy of secant squared. So we are looking at the integral of tangent to the fourth of x times secant to the fourth of x times secant squared x dx. We are trying to force that derivative of tangent for u substitution. Then we will convert our secant to the fourth. So again, we will use the fact that secant squared of x is equal to tangent squared of x plus 1. So we are looking at the integral of tangent to the fourth of x times secant to the fourth is secant squared of x squared. Then we have times our secant squared x dx. Again, that secant squared becomes that tangent squared plus 1. So we have tangent to the fourth of x times tangent squared x plus 1. That entire tangent squared x plus 1 is now squared, and times secant squared x dx. At this point, we apply our u substitution. We'll do u substitution. We'll set u equal to tangent of x. Our du is then that secant squared x dx we have on the end. So we are looking at the integral of u to the fourth times u squared plus 1. That entire u squared plus 1 is squared, and then du. If we expand this out, we are looking at the integral of u to the fourth times u to the fourth plus 2u squared plus 1 du. This becomes the integral of u to the eighth plus 2u to the sixth plus u to the fourth du. Those are just power rules. We wind up with a 1/9 u to the 9th plus 2/7 u to the 7th plus 1/5 u to the 5th plus c. Now we just need to plug back in the fact that u is equal to tangent of x. And we wind up getting 1/9 times tangent to the 9th of x plus 2/7 times tangent to the 7th of x plus 1/5 times tangent to the 5th of x plus c. So again, trick here is just recognizing that we can force that u substitution and then evaluating our integral of the polynomial. Next up, let's go ahead and evaluate the indefinite integral, the integral of tangent cubed of x times secant to the fourth of x dx. Note in this case, we actually could use case 1 or case 2. So we have the odd power on tangent. We also have an even power on secant. That means that we can use either case 1 or case 2. Since we just did case 1, why don't we go ahead and do case 2? So in this case, we are forcing a tangent, secant tangent. So we are going to force secant x tan x dx on the end for our u substitution. So we are looking at the integral of tan cubed of x times secant to the 4th of x dx is equal to the integral of tangent squared x times secant cubed x times a secant x tangent x dx. Update my screen. And we have the integral of tangent squared times secant cubed times secant x tan x dx. So that secant x tan x dx is the derivative, or is du for u equal to secant x. So we are going to convert everything into secant. So we'll use the fact that tangent squared of x is equal to secant squared of x minus 1. So we are looking at the integral of secant squared of x minus 1 times secant cubed of x times secant x tangent x dx. Again, we are going to apply u sub. We'll set u equal to secant of x. Then we have that du is equal to secant of x tangent of x dx. So this leaves us with our integral is now the integral of u squared minus 1 times u cubed times du. This is equivalent to the integral of u to the 5th minus u cubed du, which of course is 1/6 u to the 6th minus 1/4 u to the 4th plus c. At this point, we just have to plug in the fact that u was equal to secant of x. And we wind up with that our integral is equal to 1/6 times secant to the 6th of x minus 1/4 times secant to the 4th of x plus c. So these are our two basic cases for powers of secant and tangent, where we can just force a u substitution and how we can go about forcing that u substitution. In the next video, we will look at the slightly more complicated case. We will integrate secant cubed